Hey everybody, you're listening to Second Round Steals as we go through our 2015-2016 NBA team previews. Be sure to check out the rest of our previews, and don't forget to stay tuned with us for regular updates throughout the season.
We're back with our NBA preview podcast, and now we're covering the Denver Nuggets.
Right, so last year, Denver Nuggets 30-52, missing the playoffs, fired Brian Shaw.
They had a sweet lottery pick.
Yeah, they good lottery pick. So let's go straight in then for the additions. Obviously, that lotto pick, Emmanuel Mudiay.
Yep.
They also signed Mike Miller. Then they had two more bargain bin, I guess, ones in Nikola Jokic and Nick Johnson. And obviously, as everyone's heard, Coach Mike Malone.
Yeah, that's definitely a big one. As for their losses, they got rid of Ty Lawson. They traded him to the Rockets, and that's how they got Nick Johnson. Which the Ty Lawson thing will be something to look out for, considering his alcohol issues and how that affects the team chemistry. But in addition, they also lost Jamal Franklin and Ian Clark, which isn't that significant.
Yeah, to be honest, I actually didn't know Jamal Franklin was even on the Nuggets. So, yeah, let's get into their lineup. Obviously, Lawson being out, you're going to have that point guard spot open for Mudiay to run right in and compete for Rookie of the Year. Shooting guard. Yeah. Shooting guard. This one's a bit of a toss-up. Obviously, the feeling is they might just go back to Randy Foye because he started for them the past couple years when they got rid of Falalo.
Yeah, Barton played pretty well last year, but I think Foye has the veteran preference, and he's just a lot more experienced.
I feel like they could also go with Gary Harris. I feel he might see some burn because they already know this team's has a youth movement. I guess we'll see. Small forward, obviously, Gallinari is going to be filling in that spot after the way he played at the end of last season. There's not really much of a competition between him and Wilson Chandler anymore for that. Power forward, still Kenneth Faried. And center, obviously, Nurkic has been out. So we're going to see
some J.J. Hickson action.
I don't think so. I think we're past the point in J.J. Hickson's career where we can say J.J. Hickson is a quality NBA player or like a positive player.
Been a quality NBA player, to be honest.
He got a big contract after he put up that year with the Trailblazers.
Yeah.
But then immediately they got rid of J.J. Hickson and they became good. I don't think J.J. Hickson's...
He's not a winning player.
Yeah, I think they might go with the new guy, Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, but we'll see until Nurkic come back.
Yeah, once Nurkic comes back, then
Nurkic
he's starting.
Is a beast.
Yeah. And obviously, just talking really quickly on Mike Malone and that fit, he's apparently been meshing really well with the team. They were having interviews. The team seems a lot more happy and everything. He even might get free to contribute on defense.
That's huge. It's major.
Yeah, I mean that could change his career. So what do you see as the stat for this team?
Yeah, it's pretty related to the new coaching change. My stat is 56-85, which was the Nuggets record with Brian Shaw as their head coach. That Brian Shaw tenure was really tumultuous. I think there were reports midway through the season last year where the team just completely lost Shaw. Like, Shaw couldn't coach the team anymore. A lot of, initially when he was brought in, a lot of people were looking forward to him because he was recommended by Phil Jackson. But his whole tenure was pretty unexciting, especially coming off of George Karl. Now with Mike Malone, I think he's a lot better with the development of players. Like, he was loved in Sacramento. A lot of people were really upset that he was fired, and I think he'll do an okay job coaching these guys and developing the young guys as well.
Yeah, and I think he was showing that he was a very good coach. You saw Sacramento was actually putting it all together, it seemed, at the start of last year, before, for some odd reason, they just got rid of him.
Right.
Yeah, my stat, I want to see their fast break points. The past couple of years, they've been a run team. That's really been it. They just run and score, and then they don't play defense. Obviously, you now just added Mudiay, who really fills that kind of fast break role. a little bit more than Ty Lawson because he's a bigger body with just as much speed. But I want to see if they become more of a defensive team. If they kind of like stop the running and become more of a half court set rather than just only fast break points. I feel like that could help.
I don't think that will work for them. Like Denver's always been a running team just because of the altitude. But maybe if they just lock in and play a lot better defense, or just like you were saying before, having Kenneth Faried lock in and try to play defense, like that'll be beneficial for them.
I don't know. I mean, I think Moutier's going to get his points off fast breaks no matter what. But I don't know if the rest of the team's going to be out there running with him. You know, Gallinari can mix in the fast breaks and the half court set. We saw at the end of the year. I think that's going to be really good for him. Nurkic, if we see a little bit of post game from him, that's good. You know, he's a big guy. You don't really want him running around and hurting himself.
I mean, he was like a 30 in 2K in the speed rating.
Yeah. Exactly. So I mean, obviously Faried, he's not much of a half court player, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. You know, Malone develops Cousins really well, so maybe Faried has a chance of becoming a better player in that sense, and he won't just need to run and dunk. But we'll see what happens with that. So the big picture for this team on this season, their roster's really young, but there's so many questions with them. And definitely about their attitudes, first and foremost. You know, Faried, Gallo, and Chandler, they've been part of a losing culture for a little bit. They were good with George Karl, but there was obviously some issues or whatever there. And then they just, like you said, there was a whole big thing where the team kind of turned on Brian Shaw. I guess we'll see what happens with them. I don't know if Denver's just going to want to do a complete reboot and pull the plug on the whole team or not, but that'll develop as time goes on. The season, though, I feel is basically just to develop Moutier and Nurkic. Maybe even Harris, like get Harris feeling more comfortable. I think that's what they should focus on. Just their new guys, their young bloods.
Yeah, definitely. I guess my big picture assessment of them is pretty similar too. It's definitely going to be a down year for them. They definitely don't have playoff aspirations. But like you were saying, Emmanuel Mudiay, like in preseason and summer league, even during the draft, like a lot of people were comparing him to John Wall, and that might not be what he becomes, but his speed, his court vision, and his size is what's going to stick out. And having him develop with a bunch of your other young guys like Harris, Nurkic, and even Joffrey Laverne, he's averaging 16 and 10 this preseason. It'll be interesting to see this team develop. And like you were mentioning, there's Faried, Chandler, and Gallinari. I think they could all be on the trading block this season. Last year they traded Aflalo for some good picks. I think we could see the same for Chandler, Gallinari, even Faried to an extent.
Mm-hmm. So what do you have for this excitement scale on this team?
I guess I was kind of harsh, and I gave them a 2.0. I mean, because basically they're putting all their hopes into Mike Malone, and they're putting their hopes into a 19-year-old player that played like 15 or so games in China last year. Like Emmanuel Mudiay is basically almost an unknown, and a lot of people like I was saying, Mudiay is like John Wall, but if this is the most exciting player on your team, then I don't know if I'd want to watch them.
Yeah, I think he's a couple of years away from being John Wall. I think he's more like the John Wall that came in for the Wizards back in 2010. So yeah, I agree with that. I gave him a 5, just because if we could see those flashes of a young John Wall in him, that could be really exciting. Seeing him like tear through defenses and go to the rim, or even if Gallinari continues that torrid pace he was putting up at the end of last season, that would be really cool. He was averaging close to 20 points per game. I think it was like 19.6 or something.
Mm-hmm. And but there's always the injury problem with Gallinari.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, I think between that and then maybe if like Nurkic comes back and like shoots the ball a little bit better, I think he only shot like 46%. That's kind of low for
they get a +3 in my excitement scale. Nurkic just keeps on bullying and trash talking.
Yeah, if Nurkic keeps taunting
ridiculous.
and stepping
He's
over.
He's like an old school WWF wrestler, like Iron Sheik or Nikolai Volkov. He's just a bad man.
Yeah. I loved it. Him and Marcus Gasol went off against each other.
Yeah, I
And
think he
Marcus,
trash talked DeMarcus Cousins too.
yeah, no, he did. But I mean, Marcus Gasol is one of like the most underrated trash talkers, and just seeing this rookie, like this kid, come out of nowhere and like get under his skin too, like that was great. I feel so. Yeah, where do you see this team going for this season?
I mean, like it's been said already, it's a development year, so maybe around 20 to 25 wins. They'll definitely be in the Ben Simmons race for the lottery, but other than that, it's development, development, development. That's going to be the key word, and seeing how Mike Malone handles his team as well.
Right. Right. I see them putting up either another 30 win or 25 win campaign, honestly, because obviously you now lost Ty Lawson, which off court issues or not, Ty Lawson was putting up great stats for them. So I don't know if Moutier can really replicate that straight off the bat consistently, which might hurt them. And I guess we'll see how that. I think the ceiling for them is a 30-win team. Really, that's the best that they can hope for. So what about social media? What do we have for their fun team?
I mean, there's nothing really. I didn't really find anything on the current players, but Dikembe Mutombo's in the Hall of Fame now.
Yeah.
Ooh, pretty exciting. He also played in the NBA Africa game against Hakeem Olajuwon. He was able to block a shot, and he was wearing that old school Nuggets rainbow uniform.
Oh, the Pride jersey.
Yeah. He probably could be a decent backup big for maybe the Mavericks or maybe even the Nuggets.
Oh, no, Dallas should call him.
Still definitely in shape.
Yeah, Dallas should call him. No? Okay. Yeah, I remember that Africa game. Those teams were weird. They weren't even African.
Yeah. I mean, there was an Team Africa versus the world. I think Boris Diaw was on the Africa team. And then coached by Greg Popovich.
Yeah. Luol Deng was on the African team.
I mean, his family's from Africa, so I guess it makes sense, but they had some weird picks in that Africa versus the world game. But it's great to see the NBA spread its global brand.
Yeah.
And great to see Dikembe.
Definitely. I haven't seen him enough, I don't watch enough TV.
Yeah.
Alright. I guess that's it for this team then.
Yep, for sure.
Until next time.
Word.
Hey, thanks for listening to Second Round Steals, our NBA podcast. Please be sure to check out the rest of our 2015-2016 NBA team previews, and stay tuned. We're going to have a lot of different podcasts, probably weekly, and we'll be there every step of the way covering all the drama, great games, great plays, and highlights of the NBA season. So please be sure to check us out on iTunes, on SoundCloud, and on YouTube for your podcast needs. And stay tuned for more content outside of podcasts, like videos and articles, and even probably live discussions. Thanks for listening.